Okay. This video is going to be some of the best death metal records that I own, personally in my collection. This record is specifically for Rock Lee Records out there, kind of. He's been getting into death metal lately, and I just wanted to show some of my favorite records from my collection that I think are, these are all 5 out of 5 stars or whatever you want to say, 100% ratings of records. I'm going to show a couple real quick that are just from a previous video I did. Napalm Death, Harmony Corruption. Everybody showing this record. Great death metal record. Pestilence, Consuming Impulse. Another perfect 5 out of 5 record. Every song on here has riffs that are just gonna be stuck in your head, and you're gonna want to play them again. And the vocals, Martin Van Buren's vocals, are killer on this record. Really, really good stuff. Tomb, Left Hand Path. This might be one of the best death metal records ever made. A lot of records are compared to this. A lot of bands are trying to get the same guitar sound on their albums. It's just a great record. Great riffs, great vocals, great guitar tone. Perfect album. And the last one is Obituary, Cause of Death. One of the best Florida death metal records. Some people might say Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, might be a better record, but I think they're probably equal. They're both 5 out of 5 records. I don't have right now Altars of Madness yet. Hopefully I'll be getting that soon or sometime soon. Perfect record. All right, now to ones that I haven't shown yet. This one came out February 1990. This could have been in that 90 or 89 to 91 video, but this is Death, Spiritual Healing. This record is so good. This might be my favorite death record, or maybe my second favorite, next to the one I'm going to show next. On any given day, it could go back and forth between these two records. This record is almost just pure, like what modern or great death metal sounds like. It's not really a specific type of death metal, like a subgenre of death metal. It's just straight up great riffs. Every song has a riff that's good. And yeah, Chuck just killed it on this record. James Murphy does guitar solos on this record, and I believe he helped write some of the songs, similar to the Obituary record where he guest starred with his solos on there. Guy's genius with the solos. I mean, very memorable solos. And this is a 5 out of 5 record. Spiritual Healing from Death. You definitely need this in your death metal collection. The next one is, and I'm putting these in order of year, not of anything else. October 22nd, 1991, Death released this album. This is their fourth album, Human. This record is different from all the previous records. This is when they really hit that progressive metal, songwriting style on here. More interesting time changes, on a lot of these songs, and just the very, very clean guitar tone. Nothing is like, this record is just perfectly recorded. Very, very, very clean. The vocals are really good. You can understand everything Chuck says, pretty much. That's one thing that, Chuck does well with his vocals. A lot of death metal guys, can't understand a fucking word they're saying, but here you're going to be singing along to choruses. There's melody on this record. There's really good sections to it. Really great songs. Every single song. And that's the thing with some of these 5 out of 5s, you know, maybe there's one song or something that isn't the best, but almost every single song on here you're going to be enjoying. Must have. This one I got uncolored, so I'll show it real quick. Yeah, got it on the gold and black splatter with white. 5 out of 5. Now this album might be my favorite death metal album of all time. I love this record, and it is perfect in all ways. To me, this is their #1 record. This is Carcass, Necrotism, Descanting the Insalubrious. And every single riff on this record on every single song is memorable, is great. 5 out of 5. I can't say enough about this. These guys just fucking nailed death metal. This album is death metal to me. This is the type of death metal that I love. Just great riffs. You know, the vocals are just really good. There's kind of 2 styles of vocals on here. Some really deep, you know, guttural stuff, and then more like the higher, you know, you know, it's guttural too, but it's a little bit higher than the lower deep stuff, but still really, really good stuff here. Every song on here, and these songs aren't short. You know, a lot of these songs, like, you know, the shortest song on here is 4.5 minutes, so, or 4 minutes and 4 seconds. But there's 7-minute songs on here. There's 6-minute songs on here. And they do not get boring. You know, like there's hardly any filler of riffs or anything on this album. It's just a perfect record. Must-have record from Carcass. Probably. I mean, this and maybe a couple other albums are probably always 1, 2, and 3, you know, on my all-time lists. You know, any given day, like I said, something could change. But right now, if you were to ask me today what's my favorite death metal record of all time, it's going to be this one, Carcass. The next record might be a little controversial, not controversial, but it's not everybody's favorite. When I looked on the Metal Archives, this record gets anywhere from 100% rating to a 65% rating. So it varies pretty much depending on who's listening to it and who likes it or not. This is Entombed, Clandestine. Now, I love this record, and one thing that this record might have different, unique, or, you know, that somebody might complain about is the vocals. Like, the vocals are definitely different. It's a different vocalist from the first album, Left Hand Path. So the vocals are definitely different on this record, and the guitar tone is not the same. It's similar, but it's definitely not the same. And Entombed kept changing. You know, that's what's interesting about them. They didn't stick with one sound for multiple records, really, at least these early records. Like, I think the next record is Wolverine Blues, which is kind of a death and roll, you know, kind of subgenre description, but kind of record, which is way different than these 2 first records. But these first 2 Entombed records, you know, Left Hand Path and Clandestine, are, in my opinion, both perfect records. Like, this record is so freaking good. Living Dead, Sinners Bleed, Chaos Breed, so many good songs on this album, and the riffs are great. Again, you know, with death metal, it's all about memorable riffs, and if you're just, you know, chug doing nothing interesting, or you're just going super fast, you know, you can have that for passages of songs, but, you know, you got to have those breakdowns and those memorable riffs in there, or the songs just get really boring. There's an album that I almost put on this list, but like half the songs on that album are not, you know, memorable. They're just fast songs that go by that you're just like, what just happened? You know, I don't remember anything I just heard. But one side of that record is great. Every song has great riffs, but the other side wasn't so much. But This one, every song on here has something memorable about it, and I think it's a great record, even though the vocals are a little bit different. You know, seem a little bit forced, but they're not. You know, I don't know. I can't really describe how it is, but they're definitely different from the previous album. But still, in my opinion, 5 out of 5. This next record, I don't really show people. Oh, let me show. This one was the Entombed record was actually on purple, I think. Yeah, I'll show that real quick. Okay, so this next record, I don't see people show very much. This is one of my all-time favorite records. This one came out September 92, and this is Atrocity. I think I showed the first record in the 89 to 91 video, and that record's great. This record is different as well, like definitely a more clean sound. I would say a similar progression of you know, that Death had, you know, where you know, it was really raw and you know, but every album just kept getting, you know, cleaner and cleaner. Production values kept increasing. You know, maybe I think they were probably figuring out in the studio how to make these albums sound, you know, still not overproduced, but produced better, you know, not they didn't sound like demos anymore. So this record, oh, Atrocity. It's a German word here, the name of it, Todussen such. I don't know. I can't say that word, but this is all these are reissues pretty much. I don't have pretty much any of these on original. I don't even know if this was ever originally released on vinyl back in 92, but I got 228 to 350. This is a red vinyl. Just show you that real quick, transparent. Great record, great riffs, Alex Kroll, great vocals. Again, all these songs, like Unspoken Names is one of my favorite songs. Godless Years. Oh, these songs have really good melodic choruses, even more so than a lot of death metal bands. You know, you are going to be singing these songs. You're going to be pulling out the lyrics and being like, Sky Turned Red. You know, those songs you're just going to be going back. Necropolis, Prison Cult, everything is good on this album. Very, very good album. Atrocity. I'm not going to say the title again. It had a different title in America back in the, you know, in 92. Something I should have looked it up, but this is the one you're going to get on vinyl today, you know, if you buy this reissue. And I don't know if there might have been a black, I don't know, as well. But this one, yeah, this one should still be available. I didn't check, but buy this record. Freaking great. Very clean sounding. You know, I would say it's similar to, has kind of a similar guitar tone as Immolation does in a way. And I think Immolation, I don't know if Immolation did come first. So, you know, these guys might have heard that and been like, oh, well, that's a real cool guitar tone. Let's do that. But it's similar to that, but the riffs that they come up with on here. And like I said, this is way more melodic of a death metal record than a lot of different ones, you know, because the choruses are very singable. You know, they're going to come up and you're going to be like, yeah, this is, you know, it keeps coming back and makes the songs memorable, and the riffs are good too. That's, like I said, that's what I prefer in my death metal. I don't want just, you know, super fast buzzing guitars constantly. You got to break it up with something that's memorable. These guys did a great job. 5 out of 5. All right, this next record, this is one of the other records that bounces around in my top 3 of all time, probably. This came out in November 93. And this is Edge of Sanity, Spectral Sorrows. This is Dan Swano. I don't think he was on anything else before this that I'm aware of. He wasn't, you know, the producer, mixer guy that he is now, you know, producing and mixing tons of records, you know, death metal and otherwise. But perfect album. In the vein of Entombed, the first record, more so, and the riffs again. I'm going to sound like a broken record kind of, because, you know, I say a lot of the same things about these death metal records, but that's one thing that all these records have in common, really, is that it's just great songwriting. You know, Spectral Sorrows, Living Hell, they do a cover of Blood of My Enemies from Manowar, and they do it great. You know, they do it in their way. That's one thing about covers. You know, covers, you got to do it in, if you're Edge of Sanity, you got to do an Edge of Sanity version of your cover song, not, you know, try to make it sound exactly like the original. That to me is pointless. They do a good job. Yeah, so many good songs on here. I just have the black. And yeah, perfect album. So many good riffs. Has that classic Sunlight Studio sound. I don't think it was recorded there. I don't know. Let's see if I can find out real quick. Yeah, it was recorded at Unisound, which is, I'm thinking that's closer to where Dan Sueno is, or maybe, you know, his own studio. But Unisound did, I believe there's quite a few records, death metal records, that are produced there now. Anyway, great album. 5 out of 5. Another death metal classic. Another record, October 94. They did it again. Edge of Sanity honestly has, you know, if you can find Crimson 1 and Crimson 2, the original press, don't buy the colored presses, because they have a messed up track separations. But every Edge of Sanity record, at least the first 4 or 5, at least, well, I would say Spectral Sorrows, this one I'm about to show, Purgatory Afterglow, and Crimson 1, Crimson 2 are all 5 out of 5 perfect albums. And this is Edge of Sanity, Purgatory Afterglow. I believe this album came out right after Spectral Sorrows. Yeah, 1 year later. Great album. This album kicks off with Twilight. Oh, so good. Great riff in that album and that song. Again, every song on here, man. Silent, Black Tears, Elegy, Enter Chaos. I mean, Saint and the Sinner, the Sinner and the Sad. I mean, I can't say enough about Edge of Sanity, man. Like, they are the best. This one came on Orange. Dan Sueno, man, he kills it when he's in bands writing songs. I mean, he really does, you know. He's a great producer. He can get good sounds out of records and mixing them and stuff like that. But, you know, when he sits down and starts writing songs for death metal or whatever, he has some other stuff that he's done, you know, in the Nightingale and, you know, things like that, and his own stuff under his name. All good stuff. But this, another 5 out of 5. Purgatory Afterglow. Great death metal record. Great riffs. Great sound. The guitar tone is only slightly different than Spectral Sorrows. I don't think it's that much different. Maybe it's a little bit more clean sounding and not as distorted as much. You know, everything is more precise on this record. Fantastic. 5 out of 5. All right, next record. This is more of a black metal type album, so more of an extreme metal. But this one came out September 21st, 1998. Big jump there, 94 to 98. But, you know, this is just stuff that I own. You know, this is definitely not a be-all, end-all list. This is just records that I have in my collection. Don Sueno was involved with this record, too. This is a band called Diabolical Masquerade, and this is an album called Nightwork. This is kind of a black metal album, but it's the kind of black metal that I prefer and that I like. It's the bombastic stuff with the symphonic black metal with the keyboards and the gothic sounds that bands bring to that. I prefer that kind of stuff, the Carrick Anger and stuff, you know, things like that. You know, I prefer my black metal to be like that. At least the stuff that I really, really like a lot. There are some other stuff that I'm okay with, but this album, this is the guitar player from Catatonia's side project, and he got together with Dan Sueno and they started writing songs together, and I think Dan produced this record. I'll have to double check that, but I have this just on black. But this is a great, great, great record in the bombastic, symphonic black metal style. Every song on here is perfect. The riffs are great. The singing is great. The production is great. Everything is great on this record. It's a perfect album. It is the perfect, in my opinion, this might be my favorite. I think this even beats a lot of Cradle of Filth kind of stuff. This isn't exactly like Cradle of Filth, I wouldn't say that, but it's in the similar black metal style that they are. Perfect record. Dan Swano did it again, man. Just, help this guy out, from Catatonia, make this record, and they made a perfect record. It is so good. Riders on the Bones, Dread Adventures, the Skeleton Keys to the Dead, everything is great on this album. Buy this today. All right, the next one is also a Diabolical Masquerade. This one came out 2001. This one came out a little bit later. But it is the second Diabolical Masquerade record. I think it's the last one, too. This is Death's Design. This album has 61 individual tracks. It's really a concept record. And from what I've read on the internet, I got into this Coke bottle clear. From what I read on the internet, like the guys, there's a lot of weird stuff about this album, like how it was made and things like that, like how it was influenced. It supposedly was supposed to be a soundtrack to a movie, right? And so that's kind of why it's broken up into these 61 tracks, and it's kind of like all these different moments, but as a whole, like this record is just meant to be listened to, from front to back in one sitting. It has a lot of themes that reoccur, riffs that come back that reoccur, and that's what memorable riffs do. They keep coming back. You recognize them, so when they come back in later songs, you're like, oh, cool, they're bringing that back again. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it was supposedly going to be a soundtrack to a movie, but then I had read on the internet as well, like the internet, that they just told that to the guitar player from Catatonia when he was doing the side project, like it wasn't true. So I don't know. Who knows what happened with the influence of this record and how it got created? But Dan Swano, again, involved with the guy from Catatonia. Again, black metal type stuff, bombastic keyboards, a lot of keep like violin sounding stuff, all that kind of symphonic stuff that black metal does is on this record. But it's still pretty early, I guess. 2001, 98 for the previous one. I don't have the history of symphonic black metal, so I don't know like when it started, but these are two of my favorite all-time black metal releases, symphonic black metal releases, I'll say. Death's Design, a very unique record as well. It's separated into movements: first movement, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way up to the 20th movement. And then there's different sections of songs. On the CD, this was a real crazy listen. You really couldn't skip around the tracks and listen to specific things, because like each song in here is like a minute long or less, sometimes, or 2 minutes, maybe at most. I don't know the exact times, but the songs didn't, as they were put on the CD, didn't last very long. So you always had to listen to this record as a full listen, and it's a great listen. It just takes you places, man. It's really, really good. 5 out of 5. Perfect record. Next record, October 2001, just after Diabolical Masquerade. This is, I might be saying this band's name wrong, but I might have been saying it forever, but borknegar. Great album. Empiricism. This is when they first got the vocalist Vintersorg on the record, and I got this on green. transparent green. Freaking great album. Another. This is a you know, similar, maybe I guess you could say this is black metal, but it's kind of just like heavy metal or death metal as well, kind of like a mix almost, but also very melodic. Like this album has a lot of clean vocals on it, so that's one thing that's unique about this record. But again, the choruses and the melodies that Vintage Sword came up with, I mean, that guy is brilliant. His solo stuff is really, really good. I've been trying to find that stuff on vinyl, but it's really expensive, the stuff that's out there. Definitely need some represses of some Wintersorg stuff. But this borknegar record, I think he did a couple records with them. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the history. I should have. But yeah, great, great album. Another kind of, this is less, I wouldn't say it's symphonic, but it definitely has that, some keyboard elements in it. And, you know, clean singing is on here, along with the black metal type singing. And it's just a perfect record. I love this album. So many good songs. The Genuine Pulse, Gods of My World, the Stellar Dome is freaking great song. Great album. 5 out of stars. Pick this up. Borknegar and Parasitism. This is a repress. On DME, or Cosmic Key did this one. Yeah, Cosmic Key does a lot of represses of classics like this, and they obviously picked this one because it's fucking great. 5 out of 5. Borknegar. Buy this album. All right, just a few more left. This one's from August 2004. This is true tech death. This is exactly what tech death should be. This is Necrophagist, Epitaph. This is the kind of tech death I like. Memorable. Right? Memorable riffs, guys. This is a great album. Super fast. The time changes are ridiculous. They happen just constantly. But they're memorable. They're within the same song. You know, like it's not like, you know, one song is like 5 different songs, you know, in, you know, 5 different parts in one. They bring stuff back. It's memorable stuff. Very fast record, very technical. You know, a lot of noodling on here, you know, as they would say, you know, tons of just crazy guitar stuff is if you're really into, you know, trying to play guitar really fast but memorable, this is one of the albums that you need to listen to. Necrophagist, Epitaph, freaking great record. Probably my favorite tech death record. Might be one of the earliest tech death records. I'm not, you know, 100% sure. Some bands were, you know, like kind of like Death Human would be a, you know, a lot of people would consider that one of the first, you know, very influential tech death records, you know, and without it being a technical death metal record. But tech death to me is just, you know, very proficient playing, lots of time changes and fast crazy stuff. But memorable. It's got to be memorable. There's a band called Faceless that did really good job with that. Their songs are very memorable too, but Necrophagist was there first. These guys are great. Bunch of people in this band are been in other bands and stuff like that, so I know this band was kind of, or especially even this album. I want to say one of these guys, I'm not going to say that, I'm not sure. But anyway, look up the history of this band if you want to know about the band members. But 5 out of 5. Great tech death record. Great sound too. Awesome. All right, 4 more. Next one is Meshuggah. This came out March 7, 2008. This is Abzan. This is the reissue on brown vinyl. I just found out recently that this record is like insanely expensive. I had no idea it went up so high in price. I bought pretty much all the reissues when they came out. There was like 1 or 2 I didn't get, but Abzan is a great death metal record. This is tech death, invented the djent genre, whatever. You know, these guys are proliferators, you know, inventing a style of death metal with, you know, their first album, I think Chaosphere, really, but this is when they perfected their sound and their songwriting. The song Bleed was just one of the best songs in heavy metal, you know. It's up there, you know. It could be in a top 10 of all time of extreme heavy metal music. It's that freaking good. Every song on here is perfect. Again, great album. Meshuggah invented their own style of death metal where discordant chords, you know, everything is just off kilter, you know, is what you can say. But the riffs are there, man. They're memorable. And they keep coming back to the same type of riffs, you know, or they'll play the same riff over and over and over again, especially on this album, you know, like that's kind of their thing, you know, when they come up with a discordant riff, you know, that's just all over the place. Time changes just like are melting your brain. They play that riff over and over and over again, even if it's like a riff that, you know, a memorable riff that lasts like 40, 50 seconds or something. They'll play that 50 seconds multiple times, you know, over and over. And it's just great. Abzen is their epitome of this style of death metal. And it's a 5 out of 5, 100% on anything. Great album. And it's fucking expensive right now. It's like really, really expensive. I'm glad that I have it already, but I'm sad for other people who can't get this right now. Great record, though. Please try to find this. If you can find out a deal, good job. Get it. All right, this is April 2011. This is Septic Flesh, The Great Mass. This is gothic type death metal. Again, not black metal style, but really good songwriting. These guys are from Greece. Really good stuff. It's been a while since I listened to this record. It is just really good death metal. Just have it on black. Again, memorable songwriting. Septic Flesh, The Great Mass. They had a couple good records here. They're more, I guess I would say that they're, again, gothic death metal. Maybe more like if Paradise Lost, you know, stayed death metal and just kept changing their sound or, you know, here and there. That's what I would describe this as, kind of, you know. It's more mid-paced than slow, though. And it's just, again, really good songwriting, really good riffs. Some clean vocals in here, along with the death metal choruses that you're going to remember. Great album. Pick this up. I think you can find this pretty cheap. Septic Flesh, Great Mass, 5 out of 5. This one might be a 4.5 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, but it's still really good. It's their best album, I think, out of all the stuff that they did that I've listened to, that I've enjoyed. I've listened to this record a lot. Really good stuff. I do need to get back into it, though, because it's been a little while since I played it. Good stuff. All right. This is, we were just talking about Meshuggah. This came out in November 2011. This is a band that is basically a direct descendant of Meshuggah and that style of music. This is a band where, try to say their name, Viljarta, something, whatever. Viljarta. Great stuff here. Again, very memorable riffs in the style of Meshuggah. Very discordant. I got this on the green. This is the original repress or first press by Century Media. I think it's been repressed a couple times since then. This record should be readily available right now. A couple different companies repressed this. Transcending Records repressed it. Century Media, I think, just repressed it again. Get this record. Very memorable riffs. Shadow, Dagger, Traces. Freaking great stuff. Again, in the Meshuggah style, discordant riffing, all over the place. You know, like the songs just swirl, I guess I could say. You know, they're just not, not typical, riffs, like the time changes are just ridiculous, but they're memorable, and that's what's important. Viljarta, who knows? I don't know how to say that. I wish I did. I should do my research, right? Anyway, great album. If you can find this, pick it up, especially if you like Meshuggah. Quite great stuff. These guys are from Sweden, I think. All right, the last record is the most modern record that I have. This one came out September 2018. This is Anal Nathrak. And this is A New Kind of Horror. This is a great death metal record. It has the keyboards in it, the bombasticness of it. It's borderline black metal, kind of, but not really. I would still say it's more death metal. But one thing that's unique on this record is, again, the vocals. There's some clean stuff on there, but also there's these high falsettos that come into a lot of the songs that are very influenced and reminiscent of King Diamond. And that's one of the things that makes this record really unique and really cool, as well as the memorable riffs and stuff like that, is the vocals and the choruses that they come up with. Another great 5 out of 5 record. I think I have this. Yeah, color. This is green with black smoke. Transparent. Anal Nathrak, A New Kind of Horror, 2018. There are still bands out there that are trying to make very memorable death metal stuff. And these guys, at least on this record, they did it. And I picked this up. Great record. 5 out of 5. Thank you for watching. If you did watch, hope it was helpful.